I'm a true follower of Jesus because Jesus was a Muslim.
It's God. It's God. It's God.
You would be shocked at verses that clearly mention Jesus being recognized as a prophet.
No, you wouldn't. The Bible is pretty clear that Jesus is a prophet. Christians believe that Jesus is a prophet. Nobody denies that. So why in the world would we be shocked if Jesus is called a prophet in the Bible? It doesn't make any sense.
And when he had come into Jerusalem, all the city was moved, saying, "Who is this?" So the multitude said, "This is Jesus, the prophet from Nazareth of Galilee." What?
What? They said that Jesus is the prophet from Galilee? No way.
Look at that verse. The true followers of Jesus, according to the Bible, when they saw him, what did they recognize him as? Did they say God?
No.
Did they say Son of God? What did they say about him?
Well, let's actually see. Let's see what the true followers of Jesus said about him when they saw him. Here's Matthew chapter 14, starting at verse 22. It says, "Immediately he made the disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side while he dismissed the crowds." And as we jump down, as we know, the disciples are the ones that are in the boat, right? Let's see what happens. And those in the boat, verse 33, and those in the boat worshiped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." What? You mean to tell me that the true followers of Jesus recognize Jesus as the Son of God who was worthy of worship? No way. Let's see what else we find. Here's Matthew chapter 28, verses 8 and 9. It says, "So they departed quickly from the tomb with fear and great joy and ran to tell his disciples. And behold, Jesus met them and said, 'Greetings.' And they came up and took hold of his feet and worshiped him." What? You mean to tell me that the true followers of Jesus, when they saw Jesus, they were excited, took hold to his feet, prostrated before him, and worshiped him? No, not the true followers of Jesus. No way. Same chapter, but we drop down to the 16th and 17th verse. It says this: "Now the 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain to which Jesus had directed them. And when they saw him, they worshiped him, but some doubted." Wow, incredible. There's no way in the world you mean to tell me that that's in the Bible, that the true followers of Jesus worshiped him and bowed to him? No way. But there are some who doubted. Let's check the one who doubted and let's see what he had to say when he saw Jesus. In John chapter 20, we see doubting Thomas. Oh, doubting Thomas, the follower of Jesus. It says, "Now Thomas, one of the 12, called the twin, was not with them when Jesus came." So he didn't see Jesus. So the other disciples said, "We have seen the Lord." But he said to them, "Unless I see in his hands the mark of the nails, and place my finger into the mark of the nails, and place my hand into his side, I will never believe." So we know who was the one that was doubting. Thomas was one of the ones that was doubting. Now, 8 days later, we see that Jesus appears, says, "Peace be unto you." And this is what happens. Then he said, verse 27, then he said to Thomas, "Put your finger here and see my hands, and put out your hand and place it into my side. Do not disbelieve, but believe." Now, how did Thomas respond when he saw Jesus? "And Thomas answered him and said, 'My Lord and my God.'" In the Greek, it's "the Lord of me and the God of me." So Thomas, when he sees Jesus, he responds to him and says, "My Lord and my God." He worshiped him. Now, does Jesus say, "Wait, hold on, Thomas, slow down. You shouldn't be doing that. I'm just a prophet"? You know the other verse that, Uthman's going to use in the future where they say, "I am a prophet"? That's it. So don't say none of this stuff. Don't say this stuff about me. That's shirk. No, this is what he says. This is how Jesus responds. He says, "Have you believed because you have seen me? Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believed." So Jesus praises Thomas for his belief. However, he says, you believe this because you see me. Blessed who believe without seeing. You're supposed to believe that Jesus is your Lord and your God, even without seeing him physically. That's how Jesus responds. Let's do one more to cap it off. Here's Matthew 16, starting at verse 13. It says, now when Jesus came into the district of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, who do people say the Son of Man is? Now, this is important because Uthman was using the verse to say, look at what the people said about Jesus when they saw him. So here's why this is relevant. Let's see what the people were saying according to the disciples. They said, some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, others say Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. So they acknowledge that he's a prophet, or maybe one of these major prophets that have come by. But then Jesus says, but who do you say that I am? Talking to his disciples. Simon Peter replied, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Wait, hold on a second, Peter. Did the true believers recognize Jesus as the Son of God, worthy to be worshiped, while other people deemed him as maybe just a prophet? So if other people deemed him as just a prophet, but the disciples deemed him as more than that, the Son of God, we see what the true followers believed. Now watch how Jesus responds. And Jesus answered him, blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. So right here we see Jesus affirming that he indeed is the Son of God and that this revelation comes by the Father himself. It's the Father who reveals the Son, and it's the Son who reveals the Father. Unfortunately, what Uthman has just demonstrated is that he has not had the revelation of the Father. He denies that Jesus is the Son of God and therefore is not a true follower of Jesus. So Uthman, I'll give you an opportunity, man. You can become a true follower of Jesus today. Acknowledge him as your Lord and your Savior. Acknowledge him as your Lord and your God. Acknowledge him as the divine Son of God who came in the flesh. And then, and only then, will you be a true follower of Jesus. Which one are you?
There you go. Right there.